Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to chat about all the books and manga that I read last week. So in keeping with this new weekly update wrap-up type thing, I'm going to share all the books and manga that I read from Sunday to Saturday last week. And I am going to put the manga in the second half of the video with a time step down below if you want to just jump ahead to that part, or if you only want to watch up to that part, or if you want to watch the whole thing. Any of that is great with me. But last week was actually my birthday week, and I wanted to read a bunch of summery, warm type books because it was kind of chilly here this week and I felt like I needed like a pick-me-up. I don't know, I was really in the mood to start reading like summery beach type books, so I made a huge stack of all of my books that have the word summer or beach in the title, or that I knew were just summery type books, and decided to start reading some of them. I didn't get through as many as I had hoped, but I did read a couple. So let me share them with you now. So the first one that I read last week was The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashears. Now this was a reread for me, but I remembered obviously that this is a book that takes place in the summer, and in my mind it always, I don't know, it always stood up like a book that was like a fun summer romp. And so I wanted to reread it and then rewatch the movie and see if it was as I remembered. And this book was actually way sadder and more intense than I remembered. This follows a group of 4 best friends who are going to be spending their first summer apart. They're all going to different areas. One is actually staying in town, one's going to visit her dad for the summer, one's going to a soccer camp, and then one's going to go visit her family in Greece. And they find this pair of pants that somehow manages to fit all 4 of them, even though they have completely different body shapes. And they decide to pass the pants around throughout the summer as a way of like keeping close to each other. Anyway, and so, yeah, there was a lot of summer vibes. This definitely takes place in the summer. And so I did get that from it, but it wasn't the fluffy read that I had remembered it to be. It was very intense, very sad. A lot of difficult topics were brought up in here, which I did not remember. And then I rewatched the movie, which was a lot different from the book. I mean, I feel like the general idea was the same, but a lot of the plot points and character moments were different than what actually happened in the book. Still a very summery summery movie, but way more intense than I had remembered. So I didn't get exactly the summer vibes that I was hoping for. It did make me want to visit Greece and read more books that were set in Greece. So if you have any of those type of recommendations, I'd love to hear. But yeah, this was fun. Gave it 4 stars. I'm glad I reread it. And I do want to read the rest of the books in the series. When I read these originally, I only read the first 3 and never made it to the 4th. So I would like to do that at some point. Okay, then I decided to read a couple of books from NetGalley that are coming out soon or have just come out and have the word summer in the title. So I picked up My Summer Darlings by May Cobb, I believe it is. This one, I love this cover. I think this cover is so summery and fun, bright and vibrant. And I remember May Cobb had a book come out last year that was a Book of the Month Club pick called The Hunting Wives. It was like a summer thriller that there was like a lot of buzz around it, but I never read that one. This one just looked so summery and had the word summer in the title. So I requested it and I thought it was going to be a great, fun summer thriller, and I couldn't wait to read it. So I picked this one up next, and boy, I ended up being so disappointed with this book, like mega huge disappointed. It was easy to get through. It was super easy to read. The writing was easy, but it wasn't a thriller at all. This was way more like Southern drama, lots of drinking and lots of sex book, which was not what I thought it was going to be at all. It's about these 3 best friends who still live in the same neighborhood that they grew up in. They obviously, one of them had moved away for a while and then come back. The other ones had gone off to college and then married and moved back into the same neighborhood. They're very well off, at least 2 of them are. And they basically get together and they drink a lot and they gossip a lot. And yeah, it was not good. I mean, if that's what you're looking for, then definitely check this book out. There was like a little thread throughout of what I thought was going to be a thriller. So like the very first chapter or few pages is a glimpse of this person who is in the woods, and she's talking about, oh, he's going to come back for me. I've lost a whole lot of blood. I'm done for, or whatever. So you know from page 1 that something is going to happen. And so I went into that thinking there was going to be this big like thriller aspect, and it didn't work out that way. By the time something thrillery happens, I felt like it was super predictable and a little bit ridiculous. And I just did not enjoy this book at all. It was a major disappointment, and I do not think I will be reading any more from this author. Yeah, so sad to say that because I love this cover and I thought this was going to be a great summer thriller. It just was not. Okay, then I have started another book. I'm halfway through it. I wanted to get done before I did this wrap up, but just didn't make it all the way through. And that is Every Summer After by Carly. Oh, I don't remember her last name. I'm going to put it up here so you can see. And this one is a romance, and it is actually hitting the spot for like the fluffy, summery type vibes. I mean, there has been some emotional stuff in here. I'm only 50% way through, so there could be even more, by the time I'm done. But yeah, it's very summery, following this girl whose family has bought like a cabin further up north, like on the lake in Canada, and they go there and spend their summers, and they move in next door to like this single woman who has 2 sons that she's raising on her own, and the girl, befriends them, and they spend like every summer together. And you are sort of seeing them in the present day when something has happened and they are thrown back together, and then flashbacks to the past as they, each summer as they get to know each other more and more. And I think we're, building to what happened to have kept them apart for so long, which is not a completely unique premise. I've definitely read other things like this before, but I'm really attached to the characters at this point, and I really enjoy the writing and the summer vibes, and it's just really hitting the spot. So I'm looking forward to finishing this one, hopefully today, if not tomorrow. So those are the 3 things that I have worked on reading as far as novels go, and then the rest is going to be manga. So this past week I have read 16 manga, which is crazy. That's more than 2 a day, but a lot of them are in the same series or same couple of series, so I won't have a whole lot to talk about here, but let's just dive into it. So the first one that I picked up this week was Deathnote Volume 1. This is the Black Edition, which actually contains volumes 1 and 2 of the original Japanese manga. This, I'm sure you've heard of Deathnote. It's very, very popular, and there is a anime series as well as a live action series about this. You've probably heard about what this is about, but it's following this teenage boy who finds a death note. It's basically a notebook that has been dropped by this otherworldly creature, where if you write someone's name in there and how they're going to die, they will die that way. And the boy has decided that he's going to use this in order to kill people that he thinks don't deserve to live, like different criminals and such like that. So yeah, it was really, really intriguing. I really, really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to read the rest of it. I was worried it might be too intense for me, but it wasn't at all. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about this. Definitely going to read more soon. Then I read volume 2 and 3 of Those Not So Sweet Boys. I had read volume 1 last month, and so went ahead and picked these 2 up. This is a shoujo manga that's following this girl who has moved to a new school, and the principal wants her to help him out by bringing back these 3 boys back to school. They were sort of involved in an altercation and have just stopped coming to school, and so he wants her to bring them back, and for various reasons. But anyway, so she ends up befriending them and trying to help them get back on the right track at school, and it's just about that, her getting to know them. Honestly, this is cute and it's easy to read. I enjoy the art style, but it's not that unique and not that memorable. Honestly, my kids, I have a 14-year-old, she's almost 15, and she really enjoys this series. So I may continue reading it for her sake. It's very innocuous, and so I may keep reading it for her so she has more manga to read. But as for me, I'm not fully loving it. And then my husband got me my Senpai Is Annoying Volume 7 for my birthday, and I went ahead and read it. This is the most recent volume of this series, which I have been trying to keep up with. And yeah, I really enjoy this series. It's like a workplace slice of life type series following this woman who says she's annoyed with her, basically like her trainer, her, not really her boss, but like the guy who's ahead of her, over her at work. And he sort of treats her like a little kid. He's very protective of her, but they have like this, I don't know, sort of like a tension between them, like will they, won't they type thing. And this is volume 7, and I'm like, are you? Because I'm ready for something to happen. Can we move it along here? I mean, it's very, very cute and hilarious, and I love all of these characters. But at this point, I'm ready for something to happen. The biggest series, or biggest dent I made in this series this week was with Perfect World. I read a whole bunch of volumes of this. I got several of these for my birthday as well and just went ahead and read them all. So I read volume 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm completely caught up with everything that's out right now. I love these covers. I think they are so beautiful, and I love this series. It is one of my favorites along with Spy Family. And it's so good. These characters are amazing. The art is beautiful. The storyline is so well thought out. It's very emotional, and I just can't say enough good things about this. Every volume is just a page turner for me. I know that probably wouldn't be the case for everyone, but if you are looking for a contemporary romance that is more than just fluff, that definitely delves into serious issues and will have you just emotionally wrung out, then check this out. It's so good. Yeah, I can't wait for the 11th volume to come out, and maybe I should tell you what this series is about. So it's following these two people, the girl and guy. They were friends in high school, and they haven't seen each other for a while. Obviously they'd both gone off to college and gotten careers, till they run into each other one day through work, because she is an interior designer and he is an architect, and they are thrown together through one of the projects that they're both working on. And she is very surprised to learn that he is in a wheelchair now. He was in an accident and sustained a spinal cord injury. And the series is just about them getting reacquainted and just loving them as characters. The series, it's so good. I can't say enough good things about it. Definitely check it out. And then the last series that I made a dent in this past week was Night of the Ice. I read volume 5, volume 6, volume 7, and volume 8. So I have a couple more of this series to get caught up completely on what is out so far. And I definitely plan on doing that because I am really enjoying this series as well. This is another one that is also following this couple who they were really good friends in high school, and even younger, like elementary school too. They sort of grew up together and learned how to do ice skating together. They were both really into this magical girl series, anime and manga, and he went on to become this ice skater, competitive ice skater, professional ice skater, and she works for a magazine, like a sports health fitness type magazine. And they're thrown back together at the beginning of this series, and he enlists her help with his ice skating. He wants her to say this like charm thing that's from this magical girl anime series that they both used to like as kids. And so they end up spending more and more time together because she's helping him out with his ice skating. And it's just really cute. These characters are adorable. They are so innocent and sweet, and wow, they are just like the sweetest characters in manga. And there's some really like funny side characters in here as well. I really enjoy his like PR manager. They are hilarious, and yeah, it's just been a lot of fun to read this one. At this point, I feel like this series is getting a little slow and we need to be injected with like a little bit more oomph at this point between the couple. Like I need more something to happen. Yeah, it's a little bit too slow burn for me. But hopefully the next couple of volumes will pick up the pace and it will go somewhere. So those are all the things that I read this past week. I am thinking this coming week I'm going to try to read a bunch of Book of the Month Club books because I really need to get caught up with all of those. I would love to hear if you have read any of the things that I talked about. What did you read this week that you really enjoyed, or maybe you were disappointed with? Definitely had 2 novels that I enjoyed and 1 that I didn't, and I enjoyed all of the manga that I read. It's a lot of fun to read manga. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you next time. Bye.